Hi, this is Hannah, and I'm going to show you some math problems today. We're going to start with question 1. Two students simplified a number as shown. Here's the two simplified numbers. Which student is correct? Explain your answer. So, we have the first student over here, and this is 25, 3 to the second. And then you take the square root of 25 because the denominator is going to be the root and the numerator is going to be the exponent. Then the square root of 25 is 5, and you raise that to the third, which is 125. Now we can look at student B, and they take it, and they don't take the square root of the number like they should during like the first part. So student A is the correct student because student B did not take the square root of 25, raise 25 and you need to do that first. So now we're going to move on to question 2. A student using the completing the square method to transform the equation x squared 10x plus 36 equals 0 to the form of x minus h squared plus k equals 0. Which step would give him the correct answer? So, let's see what question 2 is on here. So we have question 2, and it says x squared minus 10x plus 36. So first we're going to subtract 36 from both sides to complete the square. Then we're going to, so it should give you x squared minus 10x. And so we know we need to add something there to both sides. So, and then you're going to get equals negative 36 plus the number you're going to get. So first, we're going to take negative 10 and divide it by 2. And you're going to get negative 5. Then you square that, which equals 25. So the 25 should go up into the spots that are open where you add it to the equation. So then your equation should look like this. X squared minus 10x plus 25 equals negative 11, because negative 36 plus 25 is negative 11. So then we're going to factor. So x minus 5 raised to the second equals negative 11. So since we have negative 10, since there's a plus sign, it means there's going to be both of the same. And then since there's a minus sign, it means they're both going to be minus. So the step they are looking for is to add 25 to both sides of the equation and express x squared minus 10x plus 25 as x minus 5 raised to the second. So your answer is C. Now we're going to move on to question 3. The length of a rectangle is 2x minus 1 units, and the width is x minus 2 units. The area of the rectangle is 20 square units. What is the length of the rectangle? So we're going to come on over to question 3 down here. And so what I have right here is 2x minus 1 times x minus 2 equals 20. Because I formed that equation from what they gave me in the question. Because length times width equals area. So we're going to subtract 20 from both sides, and then you're going to get 2x minus 1, x minus 2 times x minus 2 minus 20 equals 0. Now we're going to multiply that out. So 2x times x is 2x squared, and then 2x times negative 2 is 4x. negative 4x. The negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. And then you have the subtract 20 equals 0. Then we're going to take and we're going to combine like terms. And you're going to get 2x squared minus 5x minus 18. Because negative 20 plus 2 is negative 18, which equals 0. Then we're going to take and we're going to do the x method. So I'm going to take this off. So negative 2 times negative 18 equals negative 36. And so since we have this minus sign up here, that means this minus sign right here, that means they're going to be different. So whatever you're going to add, one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. So something plus another plus a negative, one number that's positive plus a number that's negative should give you negative 5. So 1 and negative 36, that doesn't equal negative 5. 2 and negative 18, no. 3 and 12, and then 4 and 9. So if you subtract 4, if you take 4 and add negative 9 to it, it is equal to 5. So your answer is going to be negative 9 and 4. So we're going to take and we're going to put our numerator. So let's take this one first, and this one's going to be this one. So since 2 is on top, because there's an imaginary one under this, it's going to be in this spot. And then you have x, because 1 is equal to 1x. And then you're going to take the denominator of this one, and that's going to be 2x, and then negative 9 here. So that's your factored form. So now we are going to come over here and do 2x minus 9 equals 0. And we're going to do negative 9. We're going to add 9 to both sides. And you should get 2x. 2x equals 9. And then you're going to divide by 2 on both sides. And that should give you x equals 4.5. And then x plus 2 equals 0, so we're going to subtract 2 from both sides and do x equals negative 2. So, since you can't have a negative length, we're going to check this out to make sure 4.5 is the answer. So we do 2 times 4.5 minus 1 times 4.5 minus 2 is supposed to equal 20. So let's see. So 2 times 4.5 is 9 minus 1, which gives us 8. Then we do 4.5 minus 2, which gives us 2.5. And 8 times 2.5 is equal to 20. So that is correct. Now we're going to move on to question 4. Use the quadratic formula to solve y squared plus 7y equals 6. So we're going to take it. So we have y squared plus 7y equals 6. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. So you should get y squared plus 7y minus 6 equals 0. Now we're going to take the quadratic equation and do it. So our quadratic equation is negative b, or the opposite of b, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So to get our a's, our a is 1 because there's an imaginary 1 in front of that y. So we have a is equal to 1, b is equal to 7, and c is equal to negative 6. So we're going to take it, do the opposite of 7, which is negative 7, plus or minus 7 squared, minus 4a, which is 1, and c, which is negative 6, all over 2 times a, which is 1. So negative 7 times 7 is 7 squared is 49, and negative 4 times 1 times negative 6 is positive 24. So since then 2 times 1 is 2. So then we're going to take it and go over here. And negative 7 plus or minus 73 all over 2 should be our answer, because 73 has no more factors that could be that has a perfect square in it. So negative 7 plus or minus square root of 73 all over 2. So our answer is negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 73 over 2. So A. A is our answer. Now we're going to move on to question 5. So, Jonah threw a tennis ball straight up in the air. The ball traveled up to a maximum height, then fell back down to earth. The height of the ball at various times after being thrown is shown in the table below. Here's our table. Okay. The height of the ball as a function of time is described by the function h equals negative 16t squared plus 50t plus 6. At which of the following times was the ball located exactly at the height of 41 feet? So we're going to come over here and I'm going to put the equation. So since they gave us that equation and then they gave us the height, which is 41, so instead of h I put 41. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to subtract 41 from both sides. So you should get 16t squared plus 50t minus 35 equals 0. Then we're going to do the quadratic equation. So I wrote down my quadratic equation. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So first, our a is negative 16, our b is 50, and our c is negative 35. So here I'm going to put it into the equation. So the opposite of b, so negative 50, plus or minus b squared, which is 50 squared, minus 4 times a, which is negative 16, times c, which is negative 35. Then we do 2 times a, which is 2 times negative 16. So 50 times 50 is 2,500, and negative 16 times negative 35 times negative 4 is negative 2240. And then 2 times negative 16 is negative 32. So now I'm going to subtract, and that should give me negative 50 plus or minus the square root of 260 minus 30 all over negative 32. So now I'm going to take the square root and I'm going to create it into decimal form because we need that exact number. We don't need the square root of it. So negative 50 plus or minus 16.125 all over negative 32, because the square root of 260 is about 16.125. And so now I'm going to split them up into plus or minus. So we're going to take it, and negative 50 plus 16.125 is 33.875 all over negative 32, which gives me 1.059. Then we're going to do plus over here, or subtract over here. So negative 50 minus 16.125 is negative 66.125 over negative 32. Then we're going to divide, and that gives us 207. Now we're going to look over here and what they have for us. So they don't have 1.059, but they do have 2.07. So our answer is D. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a great day.